name is Mary, and I'm back today to bring you information you would need when you're looking for a new school. So hang on there, hang tight, grab something like I always say, something that will keep you comfortable and cozy while we roll through these questions and through this fact. All this while, we've been doing things for the teachers, for the educators, and for the schools to ensure that their practices are intact and that they serve their community better. So today, as we're rolling into 2023, we have something good for the parents, something that would help them make a choice. So the topic for today is questions to ask when you're doing school inquiries. Okay, what are the right questions you ask a school to know if it's the right fit for your educator? Hey, I know what you're thinking. We're almost rolling into 2023, and you're like, what school do I take my child to? What is my expectation? What do I do? I don't want things to be like it has been last year. I got you. So today we're going to talk about ways you can identify the right school for your child, the things you need, and if it's the best fit for you, irrespective of how wonderful the school is. Not every perfect school is perfect for you. It's perfect for someone else. So the first thing on my list today is the energy you're feeling. It might be like you don't have to mind, you don't have to care about how you feel. It's about the practice. No. How do you feel about that school? How do you feel about the environment, the teachers? How do you feel? Because if you don't feel right, then forget it. That is not a fit school for you and your family. That's the number one thing. How do you feel? So the next one is prioritize academics. Yes. A lot of schools have different goals. A lot of schools lay emphasis on different subjects. So if your learner is in a transition class, they're moving to college, you have to pay attention to their college preparatory classes. How strong is it? Now, if it's a child that is good in art, how are their art classes? Now, the attention is on what your learner needs. If it's a special needs child, how prepared is their special education? What level of readiness do they have for your learner? So a school might be wonderful, but their strength might not be what your learner needs. So the academics, the area of academics they focus on is what you need to pay attention to. You need to find out, you need to ask them specific questions. There are a couple of more things we're going to talk about, so come with me. Let's know it. Let's look at them. So when we're talking about the academics, what is their instructional model? Now, if you're a parent who do not know these terms, but you really know what you want for your child because you know what your child needs, use a simple English. Use simple words to explain what you need and tell them to use simple words to explain back to you the way you understand. Okay? Ask them questions like, what are the subjects? What kind of instructional tools, teaching aids do you use to teach children like my child? What type of examination preparation do you have for learners at this level where my child is? Children transitioning to another school, moving to another country, moving to whatever your needs is. Be specific. Don't feel intimidated by everything the school does, or whatever you're saying, okay? It's your child, it's your learner, it's your word. So ask them specific questions. Don't feel anyhow about it, okay? As we're going, let me know in the comment section if you've ever asked any of those questions or other questions you have asked that has helped you in the past when it comes to school enrollment for your word. So the next thing we're going to talk about is logistics. A lot of things come under the umbrella of logistics, but we'll take them one after the other. So hang with me, just give me a couple of seconds or minutes, and I will tell you what we have under logistics. The first thing we're going to talk about is commutation time. The time to commute. How do you move your child from your location to the school? That's very important. How far is the school from you? I've been told of high schoolers who've had to sit in the bus for hours because they have to get to the school on time or get back to school at a certain time. Now ask yourself, is this convenient? Is this okay for my learner? How does it affect the child emotionally? How does it affect them psychologically after school? Is this okay? It might be okay for some kids, but is it okay for your child? So you need to find out how this will affect your learner. At this point, is what you give the goose also good for the gander? Also look at boarding. Now, some schools offer boarding services, some don't. Do you require a learner to be there? Or do you actually want your child to live in the school? Is it convenient? Is it okay for that child? So these are things you need to consider. Remember that the essence of this video is to point out one thing, that no matter how wonderful a school is, no matter the services they offer, no matter how fantastic the environment is, the main thing that matters is how fit the school is to the learner you're sending there. Because some of the things they're highlighting, the things they're teaching, the things they're showing you might not be relevant, might not be needful to your learner. You need to pay attention to that. Also, under logistics, we have the tuition. Remember, we're talking about private schools, okay? Tuition. How much is their tuition? How much are their fees? Don't put yourself in debt because you want your child to go to the school your friends and family go to. It won't pay you at the end. Can you afford that tuition? If you can't afford it, then look for an alternative. It's not a do or die affair. You need to pay attention to what matters and what you can afford. Like I said, affordability is the key. Pay attention to how affordable the school is. Don't go into debt in raising your children. It's still a long journey. It's a long journey. So you need to plan effectively. You need to plan. Look at how much you have, how much you're making. What can you afford? There are a lot of schools out there. You just need to pay attention for the one that meets your need, the one you can afford. Okay, so as we're still going, the next question you ask is, what services do they offer that is suitable for your learner? Now, it's not every service, like I said earlier, that is good for your learner, okay? So the specific needs of the learner, special needs, picky eater, artistic child, do they have services tailored to meet that need? Another question you can ask them is, what expectations do they have of their parents? What level of involvement do they require from the parents of their learners? Now, if you are a very busy person, you might go for a school where there is adequate planning before parents are called to take up tasks. So you need to know, because if you're really expected to be actively involved in the day-to-day learning of your child. Okay, as we're rounding up, I'm going to talk about extracurricular activities. Ask them what type of extracurricular activities they offer. Okay, are they sporty activities? Are they games? What type of extracurricular activities do they offer, and which ones do they really do well? It's not just jack of all trades, master of none. Okay, find out the ones they do, investigate and be sure they really do them and they're good at them. And are those extracurricular activities what your child needs? Ask your child. Appreciate you hanging in there and listening to all this. So also, don't forget to go to the comment section and let me know what you think about these questions and these things you need to pay attention to when choosing a school for your learner. So the next thing is class size. Some children do well when they're with a large number of people. Some don't do well with that. So what does your learner need? What is the class size? If you need to go to the school when they're in session and ask to see what a normal class setting looks like, you can do that. What is the teacher-student ratio? How many teachers do they have in the class? How many teachers attend to the number of children in the class? Okay, you need to find out that. It's very, very important. I cannot stress that enough. Okay. Last but not the least is alignment to family goals. What are your family goals? What matters the most to your family? Does that school represent that? Are you a religious family? Are you a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist family? Does that school pay attention to those needs? What is it, a school that pays attention to etiquette, morality? What does that school represent? Do you pay attention to modesty in dressing? To the way your family relate with other people? Does the school pay attention to that, or it's just academics or whatever they do? You need to find out. Pay attention to the fine lines when you're talking to somebody in the school. okay? You need to find out how the teachers relate to you, how the students that are just passing by relate to the teachers. Pay attention to this. I hope this helps you in this new year when you're looking for a new school or you're paying attention to the school your children or your learners are going to. And school owners, you can look at those questions and see if you can answer them correctly or effectively when you have inquiries. Help the teachers, help the parents make a good choice. Help them find out that your school is the right fit for their wards. Don't forget to subscribe to this and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I have a new video up. Don't forget to share this video to your friends and families who might need this to make a choice of a good school for their children, for their friends and family. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful new year ahead. Bye.